welcome back to the WarriorUp Smart Series. Now hopefully you've seen the previous two videos and you have two pieces of the puzzle to your WarriorUp empowerment. Now think about it, all you've invested is 11.5 minutes plus the 30-second drills that you've been doing before you brush your teeth or after you brush your teeth, morning and night, or even just waiting for the kettle to boil. It's all about habit stacking these new skills into your routine until they become instinctive. And having this compression here, or this elastic potential energy, and this rotational force here from your hips, having those skills instinctively into your muscle memory means you're going to be firing at a very fast and powerful speed. And we're not going to stop there. Today we're going to show you the third principle of power. And you might be thinking, why all this speed and power? Why do I need all this speed and power? Well, let me tell you, the inspiration behind the simplified and instinctive response system comes way back in 2021 and 2022, when two women were attacked and murdered in London, one of which lived very close to where I live now. It shook the nation. Both of their attackers were caught, tried and sent to prison. And what was notable is they were both quite physical, strong men. And so therefore we need a system. Everyone needs a system, because not everybody wants to go and spend years studying a martial art or go into a combat gym and take that really intense, rough training. But it was my belief back then, motivated by these terrible events, that got me thinking, how can we create a system that anyone can learn anywhere, anytime, and not with a huge investment of time and energy? But it has to be realistic. There's too many self-defense systems out there, too many martial arts that aren't realistic. And I know many people are thinking, well, how can you seriously learn how to defend yourself from short videos? Well, there's a science behind it, and you'll start to see as you keep adding the pieces. And today, the third principle of power is going to allow you to empower yourself to strike at even greater speed and power. So God forbid, like those poor young women, you ever encounter a very violent, aggressive, larger attacker. You have these skills in your toolbox and you can instinctively react and put that person down and get home safely to your family. That's what it's about. We must make that instinctive skill in terms of how we defend ourselves. And we have this already. Now we're going to take it to that next step to make you even more faster and powerful. So if you've been practicing the drills, you already have this head shield, you have this rotational first elbow strike, and then the same here for the second elbow strike. And of course, these calming hands. But there's one thing I want to say about elbows. They're great because they're great close combat techniques and they require absolutely no conditioning. Unlike punching, I think we've got like 26 bones in our hands, so it's easy to break your hand. It's very difficult to land a punch on a moving target. But remember, someone's attacking you, so you've shielded your head and you've driven in with these elbows. Now, one drawback to elbows, as you can see, if I do it at this angle here, if I've shielded my head and I've struck like that, you can see the range isn't that far, okay? That's the only drawback that I can see of elbows. The range isn't that far. But we're about to rectify that using the third principle of power. So, watch what's going to happen in the drill. We're going to do it slightly different from what we've done. Instead of pulling ourselves back and protecting our head, we're actually going to drive in because the attacker is coming to us. We know they're coming. The aggression's in their face, their fists are clenched, and we're ready to go. We're going to drive in this time, okay? We're going to drive in our elbow. They're flaying their arms up, ready to attack. We're coming in and we're closing down the attack and we're driving our shield hand up here, okay? And then that allows us to then drive forward. Instead of just turning the rotation, we're going to use the compression of energy to drive forward here. Now, if you want to, and if you can manage this, this is the first use of kinetic energy by driving forward. The second use of kinetic energy is to move your energy that way with the strike. So I then move over like that, okay? So what you've got really from here is 1 drive forward, 2 drive forward, and then 3 drive to the side. And that allows you to generate a lot of power. So once again, we're going to do 5 sets, increasing in speed as we go. I'm going to do it from this angle. So as always, suddenly Violence is upon me. I step back thinking, oh my God, what's about to happen? I make the decision, I'm going forward, they're coming at me, and I just drive in like this, and I then use my energy to drive forward. And then from here, see my foot, I might even step across a little bit to get extra power, extra kinetic energy on my front elbow as well. Okay, so we do that 5 times. First time we'll do it slow, of course. So 1, 2, 3. Now increasing the speed a little. 3. And a little more. 4. And finally, as fast as you go, and once again, don't lose the technique. 5. Now, our simplified and instinctive response system didn't come up with these. Oh, no, 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 no. I learned these when I went to study karate in Japan. So I was very fortunate to observe some of the top karate senseis in the world. So the likes of Yahara, Izaka, Kawasaki, and my good friend Tamon Sensei at the KWF. And then I did a short stint at the JKA where I got to see and train the likes of Imura and Naka and Osaka Sensei. And finally, at the JKS with the amazing Gagawa Sensei. If you know the Shotokan world, these guys are incredible and their technique is spot on because they've trained every day of their lives for 40 or 50 years. But they encompass these principles of rotational force, compression, and explosive kinetic energy. And prove, regardless of your size and even your age, some of these guys are in their 70s and 80s now and still can move at lightning speed, that the answer to overcoming real aggression is to have this understanding of how the body can be optimized to generate maximum power and speed. So there you have it. You have the 3 principles of power. Now, I'm not suggesting that you're going to be able to utilize all 3 principles of power, even if it's kind of a little bit of a, kerfuffle, if you like, but you still manage to get some, some shield block into your head to protect from that force, and you manage, maybe it's just a little sharp move over there and you get more hip twist and more kinetic energy into your first elbow, manage to connect with the second one as well without actually incorporating the 3rd principle of power. It's not important. The most important thing is now, with virtually no investment of time, you have these components within yourself. You have this understanding that regardless of your physical size, you can generate a lot of speed and power from your body by doing these drills. And these drills can be done with absolute convenience, as you now know, waiting for the kettle to boil, simple as that. And with these pieces of puzzle in place, we can now add more pieces. For example, in an upcoming video, we're going to tell you exactly where to target when striking. Because as I said at the beginning, this system was inspired by some very tragic events. So as I developed this system, I've always been thinking about those poor women that were no doubt overcome by the sheer size, the strength, and the level of aggression of their attackers. So I'm always thinking, how can we sway the odds back to the good person's side? And hopefully, by breaking the drills down nice and simple, you can begin to embed them. Now, as well as learning physical drills, in the next video, we're going to learn a very neat tactic to use, especially if you walk home late at night. I'll see you then.